All right, it's the top of the hour. That means it's time to get this show on the road. My name is Luis Giraldo, Chief Evangelist here at ScalePad, and today we're joined by Andrew Day and Rahim Lalani. Are going to give you a tour of all this new exciting functionality in Lifecycle Manager X. We have a ton of team members behind the scenes also participating to help answer any of your questions or participate in the chat. This session is absolutely being recorded, and we'll follow up with a recording and all that, and we'll post it on the website. You'll be able to share with your team members and share in that excitement. We're all very, very stoked about this release. The teams worked very hard, and the entire ScalePad team is excited to be able to release this and bring this functionality to our partners. Now, the chat is open for everybody to have the casual conversation, but if you have a question, please use the Q&A button. It just makes it easier for us to not lose track of any questions that we might want to answer. And towards the end, we'll try and bring up any of those questions and try to answer them live with Andrew, Rahim, Meg, who's also participating here in the webinar. And we do have folks here available to answer questions as we go along, and so we'll try our best to address those as we go. So just a quick setup for Rahim before he gets into the demo, just to give you a sense of why this release is so important. If you had to ask yourselves, how would your clients describe what you do? One of the things that we find when we talk to a lot of partners, a lot of MSPs out in market, is that they are usually in one of these three categories. And the majority of responses tend to be, well, our clients just mainly think that we fix tech problems or that we help implement tech systems. But the reality is most MSPs would like to be in that category of strategic business partner, of course. And it's tricky because I think a big change is required and there is some misaligned expectations. The biggest one is that, you know, the best clients are expecting or want this sense of a business partner, the true strategy. They're being proactive with the forward-looking roadmap planning and all those things, truly helping drive outcomes with technology. But the reality is that the MSPs tend to be delivering a slightly misaligned version of that. They are seen mostly as a vendor, tactical, reactive, mostly working on technology problems, but not business problems. And so a change is required in this relationship. We got to move from this help desk, asset management, technology management, which we do really well as MSPs, but really make that transition into business partnership. And it's a shift of the ground, really, because one thing is technology problems and the other thing is business problems. So we need a plan to move from infrastructure caretakers to strategic business enablers. And like Steve Jobs said, you got to start with the experience and work backwards to the tech. It's really tricky to show up and say, hey, here's our tech, here's our stack, and hope that clients will understand how that all fits into their business context. And so that plan is really in the form of this customer success. It's really ensuring your clients achieve their desired business outcomes using your services. And a lot of what we're going to talk about today is really rooted in this idea of the customer success growth loop. It looks simple on the surface, but it's very powerful to help drive business goal alignment, to drive a value alignment of your services with all the things that you're delivering for clients, creating that impact and continuing to drive that retention, that expansion within your existing customers, and maybe interrupt the commoditization that we've seen, you know, hit MSPs so hard over the last few years. And so with that, I want to set the stage here for Rahim to jump in and give you guys the walkthrough of Lifecycle Manager X, which we've reimagined for customer success. Thank you for joining us today. And Rahim, I'll let you take that presentation over and show us the goods.
All right. Well, thank you, Luis, for setting us up. Thank you for everybody for joining us today. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen and we'll get right into it. Again, my name is Rahim, and I got Andrew here with me. And today you're getting your first look at Lifecycle Manager X. This is going to be really exciting, guys. At ScalePad, we lead with innovation. We earn trust through our actions, and we always put our partners first. And that's exactly what Lifecycle Manager is built to do. It's to help the MSP lead those conversations, drive real outcomes, and grow with confidence. And so we're excited to show you what's coming. So let's dive in. But before I get into Lifecycle Manager X, what I'm showing you guys right here, let me show you what the MSPs, our MSPs experience today. This is an MSP licensed on Lifecycle Manager Pro. Look at the left side menu bar, right? Everything you've come to know and love, from roadmaps to contracts to marketplace. Now, everything is about to change. Now, don't get me wrong, Lifecycle Manager Pro is a great foundation for your clients' engagement. You can manage their assets, protect your clients from risk. You can run and build some roadmaps, track some contracts, maybe run a few planning meetings. But the strategy, the impact, and the trust, that's what X is for. So now let me show you what those strategic partners should be seeing. Now, everyone, this is now the same MSP, the same platform that we love, but this MSP now is licensed for Lifecycle Manager X. And now everything changes. Before I show you anything, let me ask you guys one more question. If you had to walk into a boardroom today and prove that you're helping your clients grow, not just stay online, what would you bring? Lifecycle Manager X gives you that exact story. It's the full strategy, from goals to roadmaps, budgets to business impact. And so let's walk through it. Let's sit on the screen for a second. What you're looking at is every strategic touch point that matters in one place. It's your system of records. And yet most MSPs are trying to run this off scattered files, their PSA, and a few calendar invites. Right? Ask yourself, where you track the last time your clients had a strategic meeting? When is the next one? Who's attending? Where do you log the follow-up notes? Who's assigned to this client? Are their business goals being recorded and acted on or forgotten? Right? What does their roadmap, their budget, or assessment history look like? I mean, a true scenario, if you had to switch account managers tomorrow, how much of this is written down? If your top client churned today, what story would you have to explain the whys? So let's break this down, from goals to actions to outcome, starting with the thing that most MSPs skip entirely, the goal. When we're talking about goals, we're not talking about keeping the lights on. I mean, real strategic outcomes that the business really cares about. And every initiative that you have should ladder up to a goal. Let's be honest, if you walked into a QBR today and you talk about projects without anchoring them back to a goal, your clients aren't going to make the decision you need them to make. Let's take a look at a couple of the goals I have for my client here. I can come in, I can see I have a couple of goals already in action. There's a SOC 2 compliance goal, there's modernization, improve employee productivity. And if I go in a little bit deeper and take a look at them, now I get to see my goals right here, but I also get to see the initiatives that roll up to this goal. Well, you want to be SOC 2 compliant? Well, we have a security awareness program that's already in progress. We may need to replace some of those servers or even get you a couple of warranties. But now I have all my goals and initiatives all right here. Now, without a goal, let's be honest, a roadmap is just a guess. With goals, every initiative becomes a step towards something bigger, something the client actually values. Now, let's talk about the three tiles at the top of my screen: meetings, action items, and notes. This is where your strategic follow-through lives. Every note you leave, every decision that's made, every QBR you held, it all lands right here. Let's take a look at an upcoming meeting I have. I have a meeting, it's an August check-in with my client. Let's take a little deeper look here. Now here, you can see I've already scheduled the meeting. I've titled it, I have my agenda. I've added the attendees in from my side. I've even added my client in. Now, this goal we're going to talk about in this meeting is to get SOC 2 compliant. So I've added some deliverables in here that I'm going to bring to my meeting. I've even attached some PDFs. And here's the magic. If I need to go ahead and get this in action, let me go ahead and add it to my calendar. Now, I don't have my Outlook set up, but I do have my Google. So I'm going to go ahead and add that right in. And you can see instantly all my attendees have been added. My Zoom has been linked or Teams, and I even have my agenda here. All done in one step.
Just want to say this is for the Lifecycle Insights partners on the call. Like that was one of the top feature requests for the business reviews feature in Lifecycle Insights. Our beta testers have been really excited about that.
Yes. I mean, this is magic. I used to be an account manager, and for me, if I could just do it all in one swoop, why not make my life easier? So absolutely a top requested feature, and we've already delivered on that.
Also,
now, the other,
what
yep.
I'm seeing in the chat, like there's a Q&A. So any questions, instead of asking them in the chat, if you could just put them in the Q&A, then we can work through them.
Thank you. And Andrew's going to keep me on time and keep me real. And if there's any questions, make sure you ask him, because that's what we have him here for. But what I wanted to point out here too, when it comes to meetings, I may be the manager overseeing a team, and I need that overview of all the meetings that's happening, and you have that all in one place. I can go to all my client meetings, and I can then filter through teams or account managers to drill in a little bit more. All done right here in meetings. Now, my action items, as I'm going through these meetings, I may log some action items right in there, and great, they hit my action items tab. And what the great thing about this is I can now take this action item and put it in motion by creating my PSA ticket directly from here. And any note I take also hits my notes tab. Right? Don't worry, we'll get back to client IQ. I know people are going to want to see that, but we'll come back to it. So now that I got the full picture, I got my client's goals, meetings, action items, and notes all in one place. But this is where most MSPs stall. They're great at talking strategy, but we never create a shared lens, and that's what assessments will fix. This is where you turn assumptions into alignment, and this is where you earn the right to plan. Let's talk about assessments for a second. And if you've been on a call with me or talked to me on a show, you know I love assessments, okay? Because most MSPs already use them. The question here for you is, are they really helping you move that conversation forward? When you run one, does it shift the client's perception? Does it spark a plan? And if not, that's what we're here to change. This module is designed to meet you wherever you are, whether you're onboarding, auditing, or evaluating. Assessments give you the insight to act and the ability to align. Think about some use case scenarios: a prospecting assessment, strategic discovery, internal triage, progress tracking, right? These are all assessments you can run. And now let me show you some of my clients' assessments here. As you can see, I have all my clients' assessments. I get a full overview of when it was ran, the score, has it been completed or not. And again, as a director or as a manager, if I wanted to come in and see all the roadmap items all at once, I can even see that right here. But let's take a look at one of my assessments I just ran for one of my clients. Here you can see I have an assessment that I ran in August. There's different categories from hardware, security, continuity, and so on. But the neat thing is if I wanted to show the client that, look, this is the progress we've made over time, I can even show them a comparison. So I'm going to show them a comparison report. I ran this assessment back in July as well. I can go ahead and download that instantly. And now I'm ready to show the clients that, look, this is where we started our journey back in July. This is where I've gotten to, and we still have a couple more areas of opportunity. The other neat thing is from one of these assessments, if I wanted to take any action, I could just click on that action button, come down to see what was that risk. Well, we needed to replace some workstations. Go ahead and select that and add that to an initiative. Now I'm going to create a new initiative and say, we're going to go ahead and work on that workstation replacement. Instantly, it's now hit my client's roadmap. Every time you run one of these, and when you repeat it, it's not just a reassessment, it's a progress story you're telling. And when you run a risk assessment that reveals any security or compliance gaps, don't worry, we have you covered with Control Map. Our tools within the ScalePad ecosystem, they're not siloed, they're built on each other. Now that you've uncovered the gaps, whether it's risk, maturity, or opportunity, the next move is turning those insights into a real plan, and that's what Roadmap does. This is where the discovery becomes direction. So I've gotten the context now. I've uncovered the gaps. It's now time to build that bridge, right? This is where my client is. This is where I want them to go. That's a roadmap. It's not a checklist. It's a strategic forecast. It's a way to earn the buy-in before you write that quote. Let's take a look at my client's roadmap. You can see that workstation replacement that we just created from that assessment is already here. Now, all I need to do is plan the project and say, yep, we're going to try to get this covered in Q3. Now, if I wanted some more insights on it, I can see here that, yep, my executive summary is already pre-written. I'm going to go ahead and link it to my client's goal of becoming SOC 2 compliant. You can see the replacement cost for my workstations, my professional fees are here, and the magic is here too. I can add any recurring fees right in here. If I have a flat fee per asset, monthly or yearly fee, add it in. It's part of that quote. And then if I need to action this, I can go ahead and create a PSA ticket directly from here. Now, again, like I mentioned, if I was the manager and I wanted to take a look at all the roadmaps across all my clients and filter down by team members and different sections, I can do that. I can really get into it and filter through to find out what is it I need to do. Now, let's be honest. If your roadmap lives in Excel or in someone's head, like mine always did, it's not a roadmap. It's a risk, right? Every roadmap card should answer one question. Why now? And it should always tie back to the goal. Strategy without a budget, now that's just a wish list. So now that you've mapped out the plan, let's talk about getting it funded and making it real. This is the part that every client's always ask about, right? And most MSPs lose the room. It's the budget. It's not a quote. It's not a project estimate. It's a pre-approved strategic investment plan that ties business goals spaced by quarters and visible to everybody, right? So let's take a look at my client's budget. Here you can see everything laid out quarter by quarter, Q3, Q4 into 2026 and Q1 and Q2. I have all my contracts, initiatives, all my projects planned out across quarters. I can see when we're going to be completing those projects, like placeholders. I can even see the workstations that are come end of life. And now I just need to work on, hey, what quarter are we going to go ahead and execute that project in, right? You can change that from quarters, and I can even go in a little bit deeper and say, if I want to see a yearly budget, here you go. I have that instantly. In the boardroom, this is the language, right? We talk about security and compliance and modernization, but if it doesn't land on a budget line, it dies. And if a client comes to you and says, hey, I don't have the budget for that, show them the screen. Where would you like to plan it instead? Now we're aligned, right? So let's talk about another place where most MSPs are flying blind. That's third-party contracts. This is where you reclaim the visibility and deepen that trust. Let me ask a question again here. How much visibility do you really have into your client's total IT spend? Not just what they buy from you, but what they pay vendors like telecom, communication providers, SaaS subscriptions. They have web hosting, payroll, HR, accounting software, CRMs. I mean, you name it, the list goes on from mobile devices down to printers and copiers, and even the cyber insurance policies. And there's many, many more. Most MSPs manage tech, right? But your MSA says you're managing the stack. This is how you're going to close the gap. You're going to earn the right to optimize, advise, and consolidate, right? Let's take a look at some of my clients' budgets, contracts, sorry. Here we are. You can see my clients' contracts all laid out, clear as day, and we sync these in from your PSA. You can also manually input them if you need to, but we make it easy. Go ahead and just import it from your PSA. Now you can see here, I have MDM software. I can see the cycle. It's a monthly cycle, the cost. I see how many seats it's covering. I can see the next due date, end date of that contract. And even if I want a notice to go out. Now, the amazing part here too is I can also tag it for auto renew. If I know that we've already had that discussion with the client, let me go ahead and auto renew that. And so I can put it on my client's budget line year over year, month over month, right? Now, this is how you deliver cost optimization without cutting your own margin. Imagine You just found $2,000 a month that the client didn't even know they were spending. You just funded your next project, right? And by this contracts is not new. This is already available in Lifecycle Manager Pro today. So even if your clients are not ready for that full customer success module, this is the way you start the strategic conversation. Now, let's flip the lens for a second. You've seen what what the client is now paying, but what do you know about the client? How fast can your team get QBR smart, right? Before they walk into the boardroom, and that's where client IQ comes in. So let's take a look at client IQ. Right here, instantly, right? I see a summary. So let's say your account manager is stepping into a QBR for a client that they haven't touched in months, or you have a new BCIO that needs to look sharp on the first day. Where did they go to get up to speed? Most MSPs rely on scattered notes, a lot of tribal knowledge. I have a lot of that. A 30-minute sync, but that's not enablement. That's a risk. Client IQ fixes that. This is your strategic prep layer. Company profile, industry context, recommended QBR questions and topics, the insight that helps your team walk into every meeting with confidence. Let's take a look at it. Right here, we can see my client. They're a security company based out of Boston, founded in 2018. Right? It gives me all the insights I need to know about the client, so I'm ready. I know what the client is doing and where they're going. And I can even see the industry summary. Hey, technology is driving innovation in this space. AI and machine learning is improving video analytics and reducing false alarms. Great. But if I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and say, well, what should I bring to my QBR? Here we go. We have all the suggestions from questions you may want to ask to topics that pertain directly to this client's industry. Now I can copy these and plug them right into my meeting. Right. Now, let's be honest, this is not AI for AI's sake. This is intelligence that makes your people sharper, faster, and more strategic without the guesswork. Now, what you're seeing here is just the beginning. And I know Andrew is excited to come in and tell us what's coming up. Andrew, please share.
Yeah, I can add some context as to why there's a beta tag on this. So this is our first iteration of Client IQ. Everything here is generated based on public information that we can find about the client. So that's one input, but you can imagine other inputs becoming part of this model. So like meeting notes syncing into this could provide context on the challenges that the client's facing, recent and upcoming changes to the client's business, and that sort of thing. So an account manager going to have a meeting with the client, if they or someone else on your team had a meeting with the client 3-6 months ago, then they can get the context on what was discussed in the last meeting. Other inputs we're considering like tickets. So you could have a service delivery summary. So as an account manager going into a strategic business review, I can quickly review, okay, over the past 30 to 60 days, how's our service been going with this client? Are there any major hiccups that I should be aware of or prepared to speak to when I go and have that business review with them? So I think this is quickly going to become a very powerful feature in Lifecycle Manager. We're really excited about where this is going. So yeah, watch this space. Stay tuned.
Thank you for sharing, Andrew, and more to come from Andrew in a minute. So Client IQ helps you speak the language of the client, but do you know when to speak and when to hold back? I'm still working on that. That's where analytics comes in. Have you ever walked into a QBR only to realize that the client is so frustrated about a ticket from 2 weeks ago? I know I've done it, right? I had a roadmap ready, I had my budget ready, but what I didn't have was the trust of the client because I'd missed all the signals, right? That's where analytics comes in. It's not just another dashboard. It's truly your operational awareness. It's your client sentiment. It's the real-time quality signals that tell you, is this a good time to push the strategy or do I need to press pause and maybe rebuild that trust again? Let's take a look at analytics. Now here you can see on my screen instantly, right? I got insights to how many open tickets I have. How many tickets of those are outside of my SLA? the average resolution time to completion. I even have some CSAT scores available, and I have my dashboard held. But digging a little bit deeper, if I wanted to take a look at the service quality, here we go. I can see who's creating the tickets and who's creating the most tickets, the tickets created to close, what board they're hitting, but I get all my analytics right here, as well as my CSAT score, right? This is truly where the real customer success maturity shows up. It's not just about more meetings, it's about having the right meetings at the right time, right? Andrew, anything to share here on analytics for us?
Yeah, maybe quick context on why there's a beta tag on this one as well. So ultimately, these metrics and other metrics as well will round up to a client health score. So the service delivery metrics, CSAT, customer sentiment, alignment or stack adoption, a number of other metrics. You'll be able to combine those into a client health score. So comparing across all clients, who's in a good position, who needs some more attention, and then like the root cause analysis of, okay, this customer has a very low client health score. Why is that, and what do we need to do about it?
Thank you, Andrew, for sharing. So now you've seen how we times strategic engagements. Now let's talk about the actual who gets this experience, right? This is where segmentation comes in. Let me guess. Right now, every client's get a QBR, right? Until they don't. That's a true fact. Every client may get some VCIO time until they don't. And let me guess, your best clients, they may be getting the same cadence as the ones that are ghosting you, right? This is where segmentation changes everything. It's not just about labeling the client. It's about defining the experience, delivering it consistently, and scaling your customer success motion with clarity. So let's take a look at segmentation. Here you can see I have all my segments. My clients are segmented. On this screen too, not only do I see my segments, I also get to see, well, which team or account manager has been assigned to this client. I can see any of the upcoming meetings, when the last assessment was ran, along with a lot of other really great insights, right? This is how, let's be real, this is how you're gonna stop over-servicing your low-value clients, and you're gonna start protecting the ones that are truly driving your margin. Now, let's wrap this up by showing you how all of this, the strategy, goals, roadmaps, and budget all become one simple branded deliverable that makes you look like the partner you actually are. Now, after all the prep, all the meetings, all the planning you've done, what do you leave behind? A few bullet points in your PSA? Yeah, I've done it. A PDF full of screenshots? That's me. Maybe a roadmap in Excel that never gets opened again? Guilty. That's not a deliverable. That's an excuse. This is the difference with Lifecycle Manager X. Every strategic touch point you've covered, from goals, roadmap, budgets, and assessments, they all roll into one clean client-facing deliverable in seconds. Let's take a look at one of my deliverables. Now, right here, I have a business review. I've already scheduled the meeting for an August check-in. I've added my cover page, my assessment report, and I'm running a comparison. I've added in my roadmap as well as my budget. Now from here, let's go ahead and take a look at that report. In seconds, I have my report ready. And I always start with, look, Mr. Client, this is where we started. This is where I've gotten to, telling that story, right? Now I have my roadmap, my budget, all right in here, fully white labeled. Right? Now ask yourself, how long does it take your team today to assemble a QBR? I'll be honest, as an account manager, it took me 45 minutes and I wasn't even dealing with the budget at that point, right? It takes a long time to get that meaningful insights, and we've just done it in seconds. This right here is a document that your clients' CFOs read when they're approving roadmaps. If it's not clear and aligned, your project is going to get stalled. Every insight you've gathered, every signal you've surfaced, every dollar you have aligned, it all ends up right here in one deliverable. And that's how trust scales. Now, team, everybody, before I wrap this up, you've now seen the full platform. Everything from the strategy to the experience. And we've walked through it all from goals to roadmaps to budgets to segmentations, assessments, contracts, and deliverables. It's a lot. But it all ladders up to this one question. How many of your clients deserve this level of experience? And that's exactly how Lifecycle Manager X is licensed. It's $15 per client per month. You choose who gets this strategic experience. You can start with 5 or you can start with 50. We scale with you. And if you got clients thinking about a compliance or security journey, we can bundle control map up with you for your GRC needs. If you have quoting, well, we have Quoter, your quote to cash platform. And if you have backup monitoring needs, we have Backup Radar. Everything we're doing in Lifecycle Manager X becomes even more powerful when you bundle the full ScalePad ecosystem together. Honestly, our most successful partners, they didn't wait for a customer success program. They started with one client, one roadmap, and one deliverable. And then it all compounds from there. Now, thank you again for joining us. I hope this sneak peek gave you a clear look into what's possible with Lifecycle Manager X. It's not just as a product, but as your partner in your growth, right? And if you're ready for the next step, get in touch with us. We'll love to show you more. Until then, thank you for being part of this journey, and we'll see you soon. But I'm going to bring Andrew back in here to answer some of those tough questions you guys have and give you some more updates. Andrew?
Okay, Meg, how are we going to do this? There's 62 questions in the Q&A and then
Yeah,
about 100 more in the chat.
I have collected some of the really common ones throughout, so let's get started there. But maybe, Andrew, just to kick it all off, let's start with the topics around LCI and how we are managing that migration for our partners.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of LCI partners on this call. Of course, in the development of Lifecycle Manager X, we've consulted with many of you. Yeah, want to be clear that LCI is not going anywhere. So with Lifecycle Manager X, we took the approach of going out, and I probably talked to hundreds of LCI partners over the past few months with Meg and Jude, our UX designer as well. Figuring out what's working with LCI, what's not working, where can workflows be improved, where can reporting be improved, and what you've seen with Lifecycle Manager X is the result of that. So we will have a migration path for things like your assessment templates in Lifecycle Insights, and you'll be able to migrate those over to Lifecycle Manager X. The team is working on this currently. We might have the ability to transfer assessment templates available by the launch date on August 26th. The team's working hard on that now, but if it's not available on the launch date, like that will be available very shortly after the launch date. Anything else to add on context for LCI partners, Meg?
No, I think you covered it, just that it's going to be available and supported for you all, but you are welcome to try LMX, and there are special offers for LCI partners. So please talk to your PSM about it if you want to check it out.
Yes, special offers for LCI partners, yes.
Yeah. Okay. For the next biggest question I think I saw out there was around PSAs. What are we syncing into PSAs? How are we connecting into PSAs? What can I do between Lifecycle Manager and my PSA?
Yeah. Okay. So for PSAs, currently we have ticket syncing, and that's supported for ConnectWise and Autotask. We will have opportunities very shortly. We're not able to get it done in time for the launch, but we will have that done in September is my commitment, or not commitment, but estimate, maybe not commitment. But I think that like we're actively working on that, so I think it will be done in September. So that's going to be support like two-way. One of the big piece of feedback again from the LCI side was syncing opportunities to the PSA is just one way in Lifecycle Insights, and that creates manual duplicate work across different products. And so having a bidirectional sync there is currently in progress, and that would be for ConnectWise, Autotask, and Halo. Tickets, ConnectWise, Autotask, and Halo, and then contracts currently supported for ConnectWise and Autotask, and soon to be supported for Halo as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in a little bit with some Halo dates. I know that's a popular question.
Yes,
We already have a Halo integration that syncs in devices that will already support some of the features that you've seen today. We will support contracts for Halo within days of the launch. And like Andrew said, when opportunities comes, it will come with Halo as well, and it will be a two-way sync that syncs in opportunity data so you can link to existing ones as well as creating opportunities. For those of you that work with Halo, if you've seen the Halo APIs, maybe you understand why it's taking us a little bit more time to get the tickets and time entry data for that analytics dashboard that you've seen. I don't have a solid estimate for that, but we're currently working on it. We're wading through as best as we can. And I want you guys to know that it's not just a roadmap item. It's something that the team is actively working on right now. So that part will come as soon as possible. But other than the analytics, you should have full operability with Halo really soon after launch.
Awesome. Thank you, Evie. The people needed to know about Halo, so I'm glad you came to talk about it. Okay, another popular question I saw was about the all client roadmap and all client meeting view. And I was wondering, Rahim, if you could pull your screen back up and we could just share a little bit more about those global all client views for people to get to see that.
I have it up.
Absolutely. Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Andrew's beating me.
Beaten you.
It's a race.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll start from here. So from the clients list page, you can see any upcoming meetings across the clients, but also for roadmap, so any initiatives across all clients and any meetings across all clients, there's one consolidated view of that. So if you're like management, or you want to see, for if you're an account manager or VCIO, you want to see what meetings do I have scheduled coming up, then I can filter here to show like pretend my name's admin, then I'll click that and that will show admin. Just show all members, and I can just click directly into the meetings from here. Similar thing for the roadmap. So some of the use cases here are, one, just understanding like what projects do we have out there across our client base and what's the status of each of those, but also from like resource allocation standpoint, like understanding, okay, let's go to Q3. Like these are the projects that we have in Q3. We're already in Q3, so hopefully they're all like proposed already, or sorry, approved already, in progress. But allowing you to see all the different initiatives that we have. So a project team could come in here and see, okay, this is like, maybe we've proposed too many projects and we're not able to have the resources to do all those projects in this quarter, and maybe we need to adjust the plan, or we're good to go and we can move forward with this plan.
Awesome. Maybe while you have this open, another common question I saw was around assessment templates, how you set them up, what kind of templates we're offering. So maybe since you got it already open, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll have a set of, if Chris is on here, I believe it's 8, if you want to confirm that. So things from like new client intake assessments, technical assessments, AI readiness assessments. So is it like evaluating whether this client is ready for, you know, Copilot implementation or some other AI project that you're looking to implement across your client base. But these assessments can be they can be edited, they can be manipulated, you can start them from scratch, and really like full flexibility to assess anything across any category of the client's environment.
And Andrew, Chris just updated us in chat. There's going to be 9 preloaded assessment at
Okay.
launch.
And these are handcrafted by Chris and
Yes.
some of our other experts in the biz. So
maybe while you have it open as well, Andrew, there were some improvements that we made to assessments over some common product ideas for LCI assessments, especially around what happens when you change templates and that kind of thing. Do you want to speak to that just quickly?
yeah, there are a number of improvements. Again, like as I said earlier, like the approach of talking to our LCI partners, figuring out what works with how assessments works in that product, and taking that inspiration over to our development for Lifecycle Manager X. So I think like the best way to see those improvements is just to use the product. Like our beta testers who were LCI partners have said like just much more responsive. Things like comparison, like if you change a template, then it's not going to be wonky. Like it will, if you add an assessment item, for example, that would just like that, it's not going to impact previous assessments you've had using that template. Number of like workflow improvements, like it's just a cleaner workflow. The reporting's cleaner. One common request was just to have an assessment title. So rather than the title of the assessment just being based off the template, you can actually have a title on the assessment. There are a number of other small improvements, but the best way to understand that is just to use it.
Cool. Another common one that came up quite a number of times was quoter integration, integrations with other ScalePad products. What's the roadmap looking like for that?
Yeah, so initiative to quote is the first one that we're going to be working on. So creating a draft quote from an initiative directly from the roadmap. Other ones that we are planning are control map to the roadmap in Lifecycle Manager. So you're going through an assessment and control map. You've identified an action item. That action item can then sync to the roadmap in Lifecycle Manager.
And everybody, I just want to let you guys know, check the chat out real quick. Chris Day has just put in all 9 of the assessments that are going to be available, and there's some really great ones in there.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay. Another question I saw a couple times was if the meetings notes can tie in with your AI note taker to make action items or meeting notes. Any thoughts or plans around that?
Yeah, so we're considering a few different approaches here. One would be like an integration with something like Fireflies or whatever to pull that AI summary into the meeting. Another approach that I really like, and I'll explain why, is if I go to this August check-in, like here would be the meeting notes. Assuming many business reviews with clients are done over Microsoft Teams now. And so if we can have a Microsoft Teams integration that pulls the transcript from Microsoft Teams of the meeting and then runs it through a prompt in Lifecycle Manager, the prompt would be something like, summarize the challenges that the clients articulated, summarize recent changes to the business and upcoming changes to the business. Were there decisions made on the call, and what are the follow-up action items? And then rather than having to run that through something externally and like paste that into the meeting, it would just sync in from the Teams integration. A benefit of doing it that way as well, and we're still in the planning stages of this, but I think we can deliver something pretty quickly here. The other benefit of doing it that way is that based on the transcript, we can pull in customer sentiment. So on the meeting, the customer sentiment could become another input into analytics. So we have the CSAT in there. The customer sentiment could become another data point in there, and ultimately that could become part of the client health score.
Okay. I guess while we're kind of talking about AI and on that vein, there were a few questions around where Client IQ gets its information from. I know we said it's publicly available, but maybe you want to just get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
On getting information.
Yeah, so on the Client IQ, you just input the client's website URL, and based on that, we can identify the client and go out and find public information about that client to give the client summary of what business is this client in, what do they do, and then the industry summary of course, what industry they're in, what are like the tech trends in that industry, how can an MSP best serve a client in that industry. As I said earlier during the demo, like we're going to increase the inputs into that model. So like you can imagine getting the meeting transcript from Microsoft Teams, having that summarized through a custom prompt in Lifecycle Manager that's built for the purposes of the MSP client business review relationship, and then having that sync into the client IQ so that if I'm an account manager and maybe I just took on this new client or I haven't spoken to this client in a while, I can go there and see, okay, these are the challenges that the client's facing. These are changes that they had to their business the last time that we talked to them. These were upcoming changes that they mentioned. I probably want to follow up on those and get up-to-date status on those. So yeah, I can't remember the initial question, but hopefully I answered it.
There's 99 plus questions. And so I want to let everybody know that if you haven't had your question answered, we will take those offline and work with the team to answer the questions and follow up with anybody that asked the question that didn't get addressed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to see the buckets here and answer more than one at once. But there are a lot of questions, so bear with us if we don't get to every single one of them. Okay, what was something else I saw very commonly? Oh, client portal. Is there anything coming with a client portal? I know that's something that does exist with some other with LCI and other tools. Our thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we're taking our time on the client portal thing. What we've found through LCI and having some partners show us like login rates for some of the other products in space that do client logins is that like clients just don't log in, so it doesn't get used. But we have some ideas on how to make it so that clients actually use it with like things like, you know, you want to deliver a report to a client. So it's like a push to the client. But if the client, instead of it being like a PDF report or something, if the client could have a access login where they can see live data and maybe leave comments and manipulate things, like that's how we're kind of thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely.
But yes, that is on our, I want to confirm that is on our roadmap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something we want to be very thoughtful about, because we want it to actually be used if we're going to go through and build something client facing. It's a little bit different than what Lifecycle Manager has done in the past. For the deliverables section, do you want to go back over there and just kind of give a little bit more detail into how we edit this, what can be included in the deliverables, how you share and present deliverables? I think that would cover a few of the questions we've got here too.
Yeah, so these can be templated out. So I have this like business review report. I'll use that template. These, of course, can be linked to the meeting that this report is being prepared for. Unfinished means there's something that I need to take action on. So if I want to include an assessment report, I have to indicate which assessment I actually want to include in that report. And then all the components that I can add are here. So if there are additional report components that you're looking for, we want that feedback. We're going to be investing a lot into this feature in Q4. With like we have a ScalePad public API coming out that's going to enable us to have third-party reports that we can build in, and reports from our other products. So Chris has put together some concepts for like what does the backup radar executive summary report look like? What does the control map executive summary report look like? And having that all sync into deliverables in Lifecycle Manager. There's a reason we called it deliverables and not report builder or something similar. And that's because it's not just going to be reports. It'll be reports, presentations. It'll be assets that you can plug directly into a slide deck if you're using slide decks in your business reviews. So this is a space that we're going to be investing a lot of resources into in Q4.
Cool. And I'm also seeing there's quite a few questions here about how this is packaged and priced and how you get access to LMX. So do you want to take that one, Andrew? Or do you want me to take that one?
I'll just say, maybe you can add some more context, but I'll just say like we price this very intentionally in client tiers of 5 clients. So you have Lifecycle Manager Pro, which is of course for all of your clients. And then you could say, I want to get started with Lifecycle Manager X for 5 clients or 10 clients or 15. And that's in 5 client increments all the way up to infinity. And so it's kind of recognizing that like not going to necessarily need all this functionality for every single client out of the gate, and you can continuously add in 5 client tiers as you grow and expand out your customer success program.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you'll be able to add them in app through your Lifecycle Manager portal as well, and kind of select which clients you want to use Lifecycle Manager X on that you want to go deeper with. Okay, what else do we have here? There was a couple questions actually that I found really interesting in the chat around CRMs. Some around how they could use this as a CRM, if it was a CRM, what that functionality is. And I think that's a really interesting one for us to take and talk about a little bit, Andrew, because there is some CRM-like functionality, but I wouldn't say we're exactly building a CRM here. So let's talk about CRMs.
Yeah, so Lifecycle Manager X is a customer success product. And of course, with that, there's overlap with a CRM. And perhaps you're using a CRM like HubSpot, for example, today, and there are meetings logged in HubSpot. So with the everything in Lifecycle Manager X will be in our public API. And so things like meetings, you'll be able to pull those into HubSpot directly from Lifecycle Manager X. So anytime someone creates a meeting in Lifecycle Manager, that will be able to sync to HubSpot or any other CRM for that matter.
Yeah. I think we really envision this being post-sale. So you've sold your clients, and CRMs are more for the prospecting part. But once you actually have that client, how are you managing that day-to-day relationship with it? How are you making your strategic plans with them? All of that is what we see you managing in Lifecycle Manager. So definitely a complement to a CRM, but not a CRM itself. Okay. What else did I have here? Reoccurring meetings. That was one that came up. So maybe we could go back to the meetings section a little bit and talk about how those are scheduled. If they're kind of rigid, there was some questions around, oh, if I don't do my QBRs quarterly, I do them monthly. How do I manage that? So yeah, the scheduling of meetings is a good topic, I think.
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing here, I'll talk about what we're going to be doing and then what the current state is and how I would approach that currently. So what we're going to be doing is based on the segment that a client's in. This is another reason why segmentation is very important. I will be able to set certain policies as to how often I want to have what type of meeting with this client. So maybe for the clients in segment A, my top segment, I'm doing quarterly business reviews with them and then maybe a monthly check-in on top of that. So you'll be able to set policies that I need to have a quarterly business review with this client, and then Lifecycle Manager will alert you or flag it when that hasn't happened. So if this is June 30th and we get to November and we haven't had another business review with that client, it would flag that client is overdue for a meeting. How I would do this, so that's coming, but how I would do this currently is I would just set up meetings for if I want to have 4 meetings in this calendar year, then I would set up 4 of those meetings directly in Lifecycle Manager. So like I would set this one to, the last one was June, so I don't know, July, August, September. Okay, so the next one's going to be end of September. So let's put that here. I'm going to put 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I didn't title the meeting. Oh, I didn't save the meeting. Sorry about that. Okay, let me try that again. We'll put an alert in there for unsaved meetings because I already made the mistake. Okay, so I've set that up for September. then that's going to be here on the list view here. But then when I go to the overview page, the upcoming meetings is going to show me my upcoming meeting. So if I get to early September, I see that I have a business review scheduled here for early September or late September, sorry. And then when I want that invite to send out, so when I've set up the agenda for that meeting, let's call this September business review. When I set up the agenda for that meeting and I have the attendees ready to go, then I can just add that meeting to the calendar directly from here.
Perfect. Okay, we've got 5 minutes, so maybe I'll take one more question and then we can just tie up with some final notes here. One final one I saw, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question, but again, like you said, we will get to them all. I hope I hit all of the kind of big topics here. Trying to wade through it all live. Is approvals, client approvals, and without a portal or any kind of thoughts around how that approval process could work with clients in product. I know it's not something we've really worked on, but I found it really interesting and wanted to get your thoughts, Andrew, on how an approval flow could work, or if it's something that you've been thinking about.
An approval flow? I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Yeah, there were like questions around like one of the big things with a client portal, and maybe not necessarily that they need to see anything, but what some people are trying to solve is getting that maybe async approval from their clients. So if they have an initiative or something they're putting forward, getting that sign off from them documented somewhere.
So I think that the purpose of initiatives on the roadmap is to put together the sort of high level proposal of what it is we're proposing, approximately how much it's going to cost, and getting a alignment with the client on when we're going to do that certain initiative. In terms of, and you can like, I would take that to a business review and talk through it with the client and get sort of an approval on the rough plan and what we're going to do it and approximately what we're going to do. But in terms of getting like final client approval, that would be at the quoting stages.
And that's the magic of Quoter, right? And getting Quoter from our ecosystem just playing right on top of Lifecycle Manager X. So once you've had that initiative approved, well, let me go ahead and push that quote out and get them to sign off on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like that initiative to quote integration and then final approvals on the quote. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all the time we have for questions. But there are so many great questions and ideas that I saw in the chat. So definitely please share those in our community product ideas. We are really focused on developing Lifecycle Manager X more and more and bringing in all of your ideas to make this work for you. So we'll share the link in the chat, but please share your ideas with us. And then the other thing I want to announce before we hop off here is that Lifecycle Manager X will be available to all for one client for free indefinitely. You can check it out and try it risk-free anytime. Just get your free Lifecycle Manager or your Lifecycle Manager Pro loaded up, and you can choose any client to start for free with. So if you would like to book a demo and hear more and get more into the details, QR is on the screen. You know where to find us. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This was a really, really engaging call. Everybody was so chatty in here. I love to see it. Andrew, any final words?
I just want to get a list of all those questions so we can.
Yeah. I was just going to jump in to say, yeah, well, we definitely, there were many questions coming in fast and furious. Thanks for all the engagement. Obviously, time doesn't permit to get through all of them, but we will work on these offline to try and answer as many as we can. There will be a follow-up email with the link to the recording as well. I know some people may want to review some of the information after the fact or share with your team, so look for the follow-up email. We will also post the recording potentially on the website in a matter of days, and so you're always welcome to look there too. Andrew, thank you so much. Meg, thank you so much. Rahim, fantastic demo. Thanks for showing us all the goods. Thanks for everybody behind the scenes also helping to run a lot of the Q&A. Our own CPO, Mike Walsh, in there, Fast and Furious, also helping to answer some of the questions. And there's a lot of functionality and vision still to come on Lifecycle Manager X. So this is just the beginning, but we're very excited to get this out. A massive congratulations to the entire ScalePad team for this massive effort. And thanks to all our partners who have been so engaged in the process of consulting and helping us tweak and iterate on some of this functionality over the last 18 months, believe it or not. So until the next time, thank you so much for joining us. My name's Luis. We've had Meg, Rahim, Andrew, and the entire team behind us supporting today. We'll hope to see you very soon on the next one. Ciao, everybody.